Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he is optimistic about a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. U.S. and Ukrainian officials met for talks in Geneva on Sunday. This comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could be visiting the U.S. this week. I want to bring in CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd. Sam, we spoke earlier with Nancy Cordes. We also spoke with Holly Williams, our correspondent, who's covered this conflict since the very start. My sense, as someone from the outside looking in, like our viewers, is that this plan seems to have been hammered out with mostly input from the Russians, with very little input from the Ukrainians. Now, the Ukrainians are actively engaged in these talks happening this week, but what's your take on why it seems that it heavily favors the Russian position and not the Ukrainians?
Well, Vlad, from all the reporting to date, it does look like this 28-point peace plan was first designed with the Russians, the aggressor in the war. In my experience, historically, the United States has first worked with the victim of aggression to ascertain what the non-negotiables are for the victimized party in a conflict. Instead, in this case, the United States negotiators appear to be talking more to the Russians than they do to the Ukrainians. And I will also note, Vlad, President Trump seems to view playing this out in the public domain as some kind of negotiating leverage over the Ukrainians. In my experience in these complex negotiations, positions, even outlandish ones, are presented in private, even if they're quite maximalist, so that foreign leaders as well as technical teams can hammer through them before there is a public exchange of words and deadlines are put to conclude negotiations. That's a change.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the president who's threatened to turn away from Ukraine. In other words, he's saying to them, if they don't make this deal by Thanksgiving, that the United States, for one, will stop sharing intelligence information with the Ukrainians. How detrimental, how devastating could that be to Ukraine?
Agreeing to any deal to end the war is not in Ukraine's best interest and not in the United States' best interest. Remember, Ukraine signed a pact with Russia and the United States and United Kingdom back in 1992, guaranteeing that Russia would never invade Ukraine. Now, if they're forced to sign another deal that's weak on security guarantees, that forces Ukraine to capitulate, that just opens the door to Russia invading Ukraine again, as well as potentially invading other countries. The outstanding question is whether President Trump is just focused on any deal to end the war rather than getting a good deal that ensures Ukraine's sovereignty going forward and Russia's respect for international law in the years ahead.
Very fascinating. Sam Vinograd, always great to have your insight and analysis, my friend. Thank you very much.